Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine Hy-Vee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
Welcome back, friends. Just like that, I feel like I blink and the weekend's over, and I have paint in strange places. Like, how do you get paint out from your fingernails? And where did my goatee go? And who is Logan? Why is it Monday already? It's sunny out. These are all good things that have happened. Bless you, Ryan Broderson, sneezing off camera. That's a good way to start the week. So I hope you had a great weekend. Iowa Hawkeye basketball. Wow. Between Friday's game and yesterday's game, those Hawkeyes love to keep things suspenseful and dramatic, and certainly would have wished the Hawkeyes would have prevailed, but we're excited for where this team is going to go. Jim Simmons with a nice tan, by the way. Jealous of that. The women's basketball, yes, Iowa Hawkeye women advancing to the Sweet 16, which is a great story. And, of course, Joe Wieskamp and the Hawkeye men's basketball team. Valiant effort, to say the least. You got to love when it comes down to, at one point, to tie the game, Muscatine's own Joe Wieskamp at the free throw line shooting two, and he made it. So we'll see what happens next year, certainly with the Hawks. And we look forward to watching Joe continue to develop. Of course, the other big subject in the area is rising river levels. The mighty Mississippi is spilling her banks in places like right here in Muscatine. We turn to Muscatine, Iowa weather Facebook page. I believe that's Tyson Kleister, who runs that page. He does a good job with severe weather and some drone shots. So, Ryan, if you scroll down a little, these photos that I'm talking about are right below this post from Wildcat Den. There we go. So Tyson took his drone out downtown Muscatine. I believe these were from yesterday afternoon, Sunday, March 24th. If you haven't been downtown, you know, it's one of those things. We live here. We understand that flooding can happen, but we all still want to go and look, myself included. I would just say pay attention to where it says that roads are closed. I did see someone walking in the floodwaters, which is never really advised, but, you know, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I can tell you this, I'm not going to walk in the flood. But, hey, listen, this guy looked like he was enjoying himself, so that's just fantastic. So I believe the river should crest in Muscatine today and start to come back down just under 21 feet, if I'm not mistaken. I've been trying to pay attention a little bit. But, again, this happens, and we're used to it. Still, it's a lot of water, and we give a shout-out to the City of Muscatine Public Works that will have to be doing some cleanup. And our very own Delmer has offered to help clean up with the river if they need him. He's available. He's the man with the plan. Delmer, always willing to help fill a sandbag, whatever he needs. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a call. He's available, 563-264-2420. DK to the rescue. I'm happy to help you. I was saying I lost my goatee this weekend, and I got paint in strange places, Delmer. Pretty successful weekend, right? All right, and don't forget, if someone buys my house, which will be for sale probably a week from today, you get to have lunch with Delmer. That's part of it as well. So Adventureland tickets, all that jazz, and lunch with Delmer. Last thing I'll mention is tonight, we're doing the show live on Monday, the 25th of March. Tonight, we'll be doing Grey's Anatomy trivia in the Market Grill Express. That starts at 6 o'clock. It's free to play. Grey's Anatomy trivia hosted by yours truly. 6 till 8. My goal, is to hopefully get done a little bit before 8. Even like quarter till 8 is good. So then I get home and my wife's not super mad. But this is it. Grey's Anatomy trivia. We've got, I think, just under 50 people signed up so far, which is fabulous for a Monday. And have I seen Grey's Anatomy trivia? Have I seen Grey's Anatomy? A little bit. Do I have the trivia questions put together? I'm almost done. Be ready for tonight and hope you'll come out. All right. With all that being said, let's get to our first guest, who is back with so much good news to talk about. It's Frank Iliff with Rebuilding Together Muscatine County, and my friend. It's so good to see you, pal.
Morning, Tony.
Thanks for coming on.
How you doing?
You look great, by the way. I love the Rebuilding Together vest. It looks like you could wear that, Frank, and do some good work.
Well, thank you.
So
I enjoy it.
National Rebuilding Together Day is coming up on April, what is it?
27th.
Okay, so the last Saturday in April,
right,
there will be folks in Muscatine County gathered together, helping other people stay in their homes. How many projects, Frank, do you have as of right now for the 27th?
Right now we're looking at seriously 5 ramps and 2 bathrooms.
Wow.
And then there's a couple other projects that will be done by contractors. We'll hire them in. Yeah.
Oh, so you do use contractors?
Oh, yes. Yes,
okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So are they local folks that come in and help with the contracted stuff?
We'll be dealing with Window World on one
Okay.
project, and then a man that does plaster.
Okay.
So
I
it's
believe
kind of a lost art, but he's really good at it.
I tell you what,
Don't ask me his name.
plaster
my
is
phone.
definitely tough. I want to come back to the ramps for sure in the bathrooms, but working with these local contractors, I think one of them is my neighbor, Adon. He's a heating and air guy, right? Heating and cooling, HVAC guy.
Adam.
Yeah, Adon.
Yes.
Adon. Yeah.
Adon?
Yeah.
All right.
He's a good guy.
Okay. Yes, he is.
And I think he's watching
He's,
right now. So shout out to Adon. It's always good to have a neighbor that's an HVAC guy.
Yes, it is.
Isn't it?
Yes, it
like
is.
in case you ever need anything, you can just be like, "Hey, Don, can you help me out?"
He'll figure it out. He's a good young man, and
Yeah.
I'm working with him on a special project that's not part of the Rebuilding Together Day. It's part of the Rebuilding Together project.
I love it.
That we have going.
Well, it's just nice to be able to have those contractors understand giving back and wanting to be involved with rebuilding together.
Sure.
You do a lot of ramps over the years. You've probably done, Frank, I don't know.
I think it's 15, maybe somewhere around
Wow.
there in Muscatine,
And
a couple in West Liberty. We have one in West Liberty. We finished, and we'll be doing another one out there on the 27th.
I tell you what, these ramps, I mean, you talk about the ability to keep people in their homes. The answer is it can be a lot of different ways, whether it's modifying a bathroom, but for folks that need to get into their home that are wheelchair bound, a ramp can be something that, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal, but if it's the difference between keeping someone in their home and them having to move out, I mean, that's a life changer.
Yes, it is.
Right? And we're looking at some great pictures of folks helping put together ramps. You've almost got like a system in place, right, with these ramps?
It is very much of a system. It's almost like a large jigsaw puzzle that we put together. We use the Minnesota ramp building system. That's what they're on there, and we can look at the guys go out and measure the altitude, the height of the threshold, and where it will land at the driveway. And they figure out how many pieces we're going to need of which sections we need. It's a modular ramp system. There's 4 different modules that we put together, and with this combination, we can make any configuration that we need. So.
And with regards to the upcoming National Rebuilding Together Day, Rebuilding Together Muscatine County, Saturday, April 27th, are you at this point still needing volunteers to help put those ramps in?
We need a lot of volunteers.
Okay.
We need people that can come and just hold a board. We need people that can come and operate cordless drills, look at a level and know what we're doing there. We need a lot of people just for the manpower putting these things together. Yes.
It's such an important day. You've had all different types of weather over the years, from picture-perfect Saturdays to rainy to cold.
Oh, yes.
Maybe even a little windy. Is there a perfect day, in your opinion? You've been doing this now for just a little bit. Is it like a sunny and mid-60s?
Sunny and 75.
Sunny and 75. All right.
Yeah,
so
right,
if we could have it be sunny and 75 degrees for National Rebuilding Together Day, that would be a big deal.
That'd be perfect. Yeah.
The other thing that we talk about when you're here, Frank, is Rebuilding Together receives a lot of requests for folks that could use the help that'll end up being done.
Yes.
At this point,
Yes, we do.
we're sitting here on March 25th, just a little bit more than a month away from Rebuilding Together Day. Are you able to take any more projects on at this point?
I just received a couple last week, actually, and because of this TV program, radio program, it will generate more requests. And unfortunately, we are booked up. We're looking at 10 projects. Wow. We don't know how many people will show up. We've had as many as 185 where we painted 2 houses in one day.
Oh my gosh.
We don't know. At this time, we are really booked up because each project requires a house captain, and house captains require training. And we don't have the time to get the training in for the projects at this time. That's what the deal is.
Holy moly. 185 volunteers a couple of years. You painted 2 complete houses.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is a
we
big
built 2 kitchens
deal.
in the same time.
2
completely
kitchens?
remodels from the floor clear up. Yes.
Holy moly. With some of these bathroom projects, and again, we were looking at some great pictures from over the years, doing a roof. You talk about the ramps to help people stay in their homes, but then, Frank, I also know that y'all do such a great job with the bathrooms. And for someone like myself, I took a shower this morning. I didn't even think twice about stepping into the shower and then stepping out. But for a lot of people, that can be a challenge. So you're able to put in some showers that are easier to access, right?
Right. We have done everything from take an old clawfoot tub out to put a platform and a low side fiberglass tub in for her, tub surround. And then we have work with safe steps, so we actually cut out the side of the tub so that you can step in and step out, and have a door on it so that you can close it behind you if you still want to take a bath or to keep the water in. And we'll be using one of those actually on this one bathroom that we'll be working on. But so, we've taken out the tubs and put in sit-down showers. Wow! To keep the people, keep them safe.
So we talk about these projects, and the thing is, like, I just hope that folks at home understand that without the support that you receive from your volunteers and the contractors that are willing to give of their time, like my neighbor Adon and others, monetary support, right?
Yes,
I mean, there is no rebuilding together. The fact is, like, you need to be able to have the funds available to buy the materials. Exactly. In a perfect world, the materials are all donated. But that's not the case that we have. In a perfect world, I win the Powerball on Wednesday, and it's $725 million, and I write somebody like you a check, and you never have to worry again.
Right.
So if somebody does do that, feel free to donate to Rebuilding Together. But that's just it, right? I mean, you've got to have the support from the community. You've got to have the donations coming in, the man hours and the manpower and the woman power to make it all happen. So what I'm getting to, Frank, is how are you looking at financially? Is that something that if maybe somebody is unable to give of their time on the 27th, but they could give monetarily, would that help?
Money, of course, is always a great item. A lot of people come along and volunteer their time, and I tell you, if you give me 9 hours, I give you a day and a T-shirt and a lunch. Right. Be a great day. But the money behind the scenes is what has to be there to run this operation. But we apply for grants from United Way and Muscatine Charities and anyone and everyone. Community Foundation is a great resource for us, and anyone and everyone that we can think of to say, hey, this is what we do. Because for every $100 I receive, I'll put $400 of value back into someone's home.
Wow.
That's the ratio, because that value of that home increases, but it also increases the value of the community just by being that house has been fixed up, be it a roof, a sidewalk, whatever we need to put on it.
I just hope that people understand, again, we're talking about really one day of action that helps people that would otherwise be forced to vacate or leave their home. I just don't, I hope that people understand how powerful one day can be.
Right,
you know this because you've seen it firsthand for over, 10 years now?
This is our 12th year. 12
years of Rebuilding Together here in Muscatine
We've done over 100
County.
projects here in Muscatine.
So after you're done, just, I don't even want to say hypothetically because you've been in these scenarios. So you start at somebody's house, and whether it's a ramp or a bathroom or painting or just the little things, I'm assuming, Frank, that tears are shed and the homeowners are just so appreciative, right?
Right. It doesn't cost the homeowner a dime. We don't accept any gifts or money from them. They can't pay for what we do.
Sure.
Anyway, they can't afford it. That's why we're working with them. But yes, by 10 or 11 o'clock in the day, my shirt's soaked because I'm getting hugs and tears are shed. There's people just stand on their sidewalk and look at their house and say, I can't believe you did this for us.
Right.
Why us? Why did you bless us so much? So, well, it was your turn. And we usually find out something about them, or around the neighborhood, somebody will come up and say, tell us a story about them, or we find out about their family, and it's just a good thing to do. It really is. Yeah.
So, Frank Iliff, Rebuilding Together, Muscatine County, you have a little bit more free time on your hands.
Right.
Last time you
retired,
were here.
So my work schedule went from 40 hours a week to about 65.
But how does that, Frank? You retired from your job
because I'm retired.
Now you're working more. Is your new boss your lovely wife? Is she making you do overtime? Or
no, my wife has one requirement, and that is that I get out of the house every day. If I'm home, I interfere with her schedule, so I have my own projects.
I love it. Your wife, Deb, equally as crucial to Rebuilding Together. great partner in life and in this venture. I mean, you and I both know that we have to have the support of significant others if you're going to embark on things like rebuilding together and changing people's lives. Deb will be with you that Saturday, the 27th of April.
She's the volunteer coordinator.
Yeah.
She has everything, everybody. She will have, if you come that day, hopefully a lot of people get pre-registered, and she knows what you're doing and where you're going to go. But on that day, we'll have a lot of walk-ups.
Sure.
And she will just give you your shirt size, and another lady gives you a shirt, and then she gives you an assignment, and you go to a house captain, and she coordinates everything on that one day. She's a volunteer coordinator.
So many moving
parts. It really
parts,
helps.
Right?
It is so much behind the scenes that somebody walk up to that day, like I said, they give you your shirt size and their preference of what they like to do, and they get assigned to a project, and they go, and they have no idea what it took to get them to that point that they were able to do that. You know.
Now, with respects to the local contractors, and I know that you work with several, if there are contractors that will see this at some point, even if they miss out on getting involved with rebuilding together this year, but they want to give back, they have a field of expertise, whether it's plumbing or electrical or just general contracting, they can always reach out, I'm assuming. And I bet that's how it's happened over the years. They've heard about it.
Exactly.
I mean, if you can afford to give one day, and you have these set of skills, I wish I had just some of these skills that these contractors have, but they should just reach out, right?
Right. We work with a lot of different contractors in the area, and we, as volunteers, we can replace services that are like for like. We can, replace a light outlet, but we can't run new wiring. So we'd have to have licensed contractors, licensed plumbers to run a new service, and that's who we work with, whenever we need to.
Yeah. Well, it's important. I mean, again, and if you're watching this and you just want to show up and be a part of something, there is something for everybody to do. I mean, we saw great pictures of young people getting involved, painting. I mean, just helping out,
We went to Senior Resources last year and got a list of 10 or 12 of their seniors, their elderly people that needed their yards done. And so we put this yard crew, and I think they cleaned up 10 or 12 different spots. And just somebody's yard needed raked. They cleaned up the yard. They plant flowers sometimes, and just do what it takes to beautify the area, beautify the neighborhood.
It really, I mean, it's an incredible thing to happen in just one day. I mean, it's just so powerful to be able to help people. And I think for the majority of us, again, maybe we take these things for granted. You don't even think twice about, like I said, getting into the shower or walking into your house, or the ability to go outside and clean up your own yard, grab a rake, whatever you need to do. The reality is that we're all getting older, and we can all use a hand, especially for those that, because Frank, you know this, a lot of the people that you're helping with rebuilding together, they may not have any family.
Exactly.
Or friends in the area to help them.
We work with elderly ladies, elderly gentlemen whose families has either moved away or they didn't have a family. And so here we come along, group of total strangers, and help them out. Clean their yard, build a ramp, widen bathroom doors. Do whatever it takes to keep them safe, keep them warm, and keep them in their home.
It just needs done, right?
Exactly. I've said that before I ever heard of rebuilding together. I was always that type of person. It just needs done, so go do it. It just needs done,
so let's do it. 12 years in, assuming the answer is no plans on slowing down, if anything.
No.
You've got all this free time now that you're retired to give your full attention to rebuilding together. But something else that I want to mention, and I'm assuming that you do receive support from your fellow churchgoers with Calvary. I saw a picture. I saw a picture on MCSA's Facebook page, and you were one of the groups from Calvary that fed folks at MCSA. So you're giving in a lot of ways. I don't know how you have the time. Even, I mean, you're so involved, man. It's very admirable.
Don't you want to be involved in your community?
Right.
I think if you have something that someone needs and you don't give it to them, it's not right. You should share what you have. Sometimes it's a bag of groceries. That we provide these green bags for MCSA. Get a green bag and come to Hy-Vee or some other place and just fill it up and take it down there. Because the people there that live there cannot afford to just go buy the nutritious foods that they need to keep them healthy. So why not? Make a meal, take it down to them.
Sure.
Make a bunch of casseroles, pasta casseroles or whatever, take it down there to them and feed people. You know,
well, it's nice that you're able to touch the lives of people that that are trying to stay in their homes. Mm-hmm. There's the picture I was talking about. That's the picture, right? Are you in that picture? Yeah, you
right
are.
There.
Yeah, because there's Brian Linderman as well. Wait, is Frank in the picture? Yeah, he is. That is a great group.
That's our Saturday morning men's group.
There you
we
go.
Went down and fed breakfast. You know, I made
it's good, right?
Scrambled eggs and biscuits and gravy.
I mean, but it's all of these things that are just simple gestures. And I know that working on somebody's house is more than a simple gesture, but it's just the right thing to do. If you're able to do it, we should all do it, right?
Right.
I mean, we should all, like you said, if you've got a set of skills that you can utilize, whether you're a contractor like my neighbor Don and all the other ones you work with, or just an individual that can show up and lift something and carry something and swing a hammer or rake a garden.
Right.
We should all be involved.
We have people bring their children. If they're little kids, 6, 7, 8 years old, I tell the parents to just be able to reach out and touch their kid. We want them that close to you. No one on a ladder under 14. I don't want a youngster up on the roof or anything. If we're doing roofing, we're not doing any roofing this year.
Well, Frank, they can clean out gutters as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
Put a kid on that ladder and clean out a gutter. Yeah.
Exactly. But,
amen.
There's just different things. There's a job for everyone that comes along. Sometimes it's just talking with the homeowner.
Yeah.
Just sitting and having a conversation with them. It brightens their day, and it's a good thing to do. It really is.
Our friend Jen on Facebook saying, I love this guy. I want to be him when I retire. Yeah, well,
who's Jen?
Jen, it's just a great comment. I mean, it's true, right? Like, Frank, you've been doing this for 12 years now, and no signs of stepping away from it, and you're ready to go. So we look ahead to, again, Saturday, April 27th, Rebuilding Together, Muscatine County, National Rebuilding Together Day. What time? So you need everybody to meet at your place, which is Rebuilding Together, Muscatine County. Let me see if I remember. Is it 1424B Hauser Street?
Yes, sir.
I didn't even look at the address today, friends. That's the truth. 1424B Hauser Street. So it's Hauser. It's kind of near Crossroads. Hauser, before Mulberry, or before Cedar, excuse me, certainly before Mulberry. They need to show up. What time do they need to be there on the 27th of April?
We'll have coffee and donuts there about 6:30.
Okay.
We like to have people there by 7 so they can get their job assignment and their T-shirt and it kind of gets the chaos out of the way. And then I have to give a safety conversation just to talk to the whole group, and then they're dispersed onto their jobs. We like to have them on the projects by 8 or so, just to have so that we have a full day out of it. We get snacks around 10 o'clock or so. Ladies bring around. Make sure it's just a welfare check, make sure everybody's doing okay, has water and snacks. And then we have lunch provided by our favorite pizza ranch up here. Awesome. Myron sends out trucks of pizza for everybody that's involved in the workday. And it's just really a good day. It really is. And then you get your project done, and then we like for people to call and say, is there more people working on other projects? And then disperse them and go to other things.
Yeah.
It's a full day. Plan on a full day.
It's great. It's good to know. So you could be working on a home that particular home gets done at noon, but then if you want to stick around, guess what? They can always use you at a different location or whatever.
We ask for a full day.
Yeah.
So
full day, 8 to 5 or 8 to 8, depending on what kind of day you want to have.
Right.
This is it. The last Saturday in April, April 27th, National Rebuilding Together Day. It's a big deal. I mean, the lives that you touch and that you've touched over the years. I've seen the ramps. I can tell driving around town. I've seen them in action being built, and I know when you drive past a house one day and there's no ramp, and you drive past the next and there's a ramp there. It's really wild to think it can happen in just a day.
I've got a phone call from University Hospital, Iowa City.
Sure.
This lady needed to come home, but her people couldn't get her in her home.
Yeah.
And so they called, and this is on Tuesday, so I go in, I get a crew together. We go in and throw this ramp in on Tuesday.
Wow.
They brought her home. We went back on Wednesday and finished it off with the handrails and all of that. But they had her home, which was more important to them. And so that's the way we do. We do what has to be done. We do emergencies throughout the year.
Sure.
get a phone call in January. My water heater blew up. Is there anything you can do? He was an old Vietnam veteran and old Marine. That was a different conversation there. But we went in and put a water heater in, working with Lowe's out of Davenport. They came in and actually put the machine in there and got him going, and we just paid for it and took care of the business. That's what we do. We
was just this past
keep people
January?
safe. It was last January, a year ago this past January.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're watching this, whether you've been live with us on Facebook, and a lot of people have, I'm impressed with the people that are tuning in and commenting. And if you're learning about rebuilding together Muscatine County for the first time, it's not too late to get involved, because we're talking about April 27th. And if you're watching us tonight on cable, think about it. Again, even if you can't, maybe you've got something you're already doing on April 27th, but you want to give monetarily, or reach out to Frank and see if there's other ways that you can be involved, please do so.
We need people that will come along ahead of time and build ramp sections.
There you go.
We have in our shop there on Hauser Street, we have a jig. We put the material in, all the lumber, the screws, the brackets, and the braces and everything, and build our sections ahead of time. So on that day of Rebuilding Together Day, we can load up the trailers. We need 4 of these pieces, we need 2 of those, and we need 1 of those. And the guys load up on the trailers with the handrails and everything that goes with it, and takes off and goes to the project. But those sections get built ahead of time, so they're already in our storage house, the pole barn above us, and they're ready to go. These guys load up and take off with them, and it's just a smooth operation.
I was going to say, what an incredible system to have with these ramps, to be able to show up, know what you need to ahead of time, and then just get everybody together and start building. And then there's somebody that's getting into their home safely and without worry anymore. Or just even just to be able to get outside and enjoy it, right?
Right.
I mean, the last thing we want to do is have somebody feel like they're trapped in their home. I can't even fathom it. You know what I mean?
We've worked with a guy, a ramp up in West Liberty, that he came out and was able to get down the ramp by himself, first time in 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and if you can imagine not being able to go outside by yourself, it's just something we all take for granted.
Yep.
But then if you can't, you don't take it for granted anymore.
Yeah.
You wish
you
could just go outside. We had a lady up here on Jody Avenue. We built a ramp, or the porch for her, and then the ramp, and she came outside and just sat in the sun and cried, and just cried.
It's life-changing. It's
Yes, it
one
is.
day.
So.
It's a big day, and at this point, if you're watching us, you can still get involved, and I hope that you'll do, because you will have quite the rewarding experience with Rebuilding Together Muscatine County, Saturday, April 27th. Frank Iliff is the man with the plan. You can reach out. We've been showing you their Facebook page and website, all the contact info. Ryan, if we can go back to that Facebook page that's got the address and phone number, that little blurb, just for the folks at home, if you're going to see this, we want you to connect with Rebuilding Together Muscatine County, 1424B Hauser Street, 563-260-3143. Still a good number, Frank?
Yes, it is. And 3145 is my wife, and she's a volunteer coordinator.
Perfect.
And we have a website there also that you can pull up and find out all kinds of information about us.
I tell you what, it's a great organization, worthy of the time to be on this show for sure, and for your consideration if you're watching, monetarily, voluntarily, whatever you want to do, it's going to make a difference for people. And the best part is sometimes you might not even know. You know, of course, we would love to be in touch with our neighbors and know if they're struggling and help them. But a lot of times, I imagine the neighbors when you guys show up, they go, I had no idea that they needed that help, that they needed a ramp, that they needed a bathroom modification. You know, a lot of us, we're prideful people. Sometimes that can come with also being stubborn. I've been told I'm stubborn a time or two. We don't like to ask for help, but these are folks that would otherwise not be able to stay in their homes, and it's a big deal. And I'm excited for you to continue this tradition that you've been doing now 12 years. It's great. And I wonder, you've probably had volunteers that have been with you from the first Rebuilding Together, right?
Yes. We have people come back every year.
Wow. It's awesome.
Yeah. We've got a yard crew that's with us every year. We have a yard crew that moved to Arizona for the winter, but they're going to be back 2 weeks before this so that they can do the Rebuilding Together part.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah. They're dedicated people. Yeah.
Well, you've done a good thing, pal. I know you'll continue to do so, and I'm so thankful that you came on the show today to talk about it.
I don't know what I would do if I didn't do Rebuilding Together.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it now that you're retired. I mean, you know.
I don't know.
You could. I don't know either.
I like to fish, but the fish don't cooperate, so.
Well, you could just go to Mississippi Drive and cast a line now.
Yeah, I just drown worms, so.
You give the worms a bath. Frank Iliff, Rebuilding Together, Muscatine County.
Okay.
One of these days, you'll go fishing and you'll catch something real big, I promise. If there's anybody that deserves to have good luck when they're fishing, for all the good that he's putting into the world, right? Come on, giant catfish? Okay. I don't know what you're looking for.
Man, I'd love that.
Right? Yeah. We need to hook Frank up with Jerry Proviance. Tell Jerry to give Frank one of his secret locations.
Okay.
All right,
okay.
Frank, thank you very much. We appreciate your
done?
time. Yeah, we'll get you out of here in just a second. You got to get out of here. He's very busy.
I got people waiting on me.
He's got things to do, apparently. All right. There you go. Rebuilding Together Day coming up on Saturday, April 27th. Right here in Muscatine, 1424B Hauser Street. You can get more info online and on social media if you want to help out. I'm super excited. My neighbor, again, Adon Agarin, who does heating and cooling, he sent me a text. And at first I thought he wanted to be on the show. And I was like, well, I have an opening at 9. And he was like, no, Frank is coming on, and I'm working with Frank on a project. And I was like, oh, okay. So hello to all my neighbors, but specifically Adon and Nina and everybody in the street. Frank's daughter Mary saying I kind of like him too. Well, that's good. That's good. Frank's favorite daughter Mary chiming in. His only daughter named Mary chiming in on Facebook. All right, so Frank Iliff, Rebuilding Together, Muscatine County. Great guy, great organization, and worthy of your time for sure. If you can give, please consider doing so. And speaking of worthy of our time, Cody has the Toyota of Muscatine car cam up and ready to roll on a Monday. I got to tell you, I'm all for just erasing Monday off the calendar. I mean, I'm glad that we had a great guest this morning, but last week when I was off on Monday, I don't know if there's a better thing to do. Some people would say that they like having Friday off. I tell you what, not working on Mondays. Somebody just needs to win the Powerball, right? That's all we need. All right, let's go to the car cam, see what Cody's up to. A couple of things to mention today. Today is National Medal of Honor Day. Today is Tolkien Reading Day, if you're going to read maybe Lord of the Rings, and it's Lobster Newburgh Day. I don't even know what that means. But Cody operating the Toyota of Muscatine kart camera. It's a 2019 kart cam with very low mileage, by the way. All right, so let's see where Cody's going. I feel like we're on a little bit of a delay between where Cody is and where he was and where he is. So we're seeing like a 10-second delay because I have already seen him walk by. So I think Cody is going so fast in the kart cam, he's actually gone into the future, ladies and gentlemen. Going down the seasonal aisle, that's aisle 11. Easter again coming up later this year, right? Isn't Easter late, Sunday the 21st? I was happy to be the first garden center customer on Friday. I don't want to brag, but I bought some mulch and a little bit of soil. And Cody apparently going to get a stuffed animal this morning. Is that what's happening? That's fine. Is that some Ninja Turtles, Paw Patrol, Lion King, or Lion Guard, whatever that show's called? I should know all of these. I've got kids in my house. And there's Paw Patrol. Yeah. We've got so much Paw Patrol stuff. It's just unbelievable, right? Oh, my gosh. Unreal. And now the baby aisle. Yes, Cody, you're on it, man. This is my life. Buying diapers and stuff, right? Having a baby that kind of sleeps and then doesn't sleep, but she's cute, so you give her a pass because she's your baby. People keep asking me, do you feel differently now having a daughter? And, of course, the answer is yes. I feel like she's cost me more money already, which I say with all due respect. That's not a bad thing. I just feel like it's the truth. So, all right, National Medal of Honor Day. Have you ever seen a Medal of Honor? And, Ryan, you look up a Medal of Honor. I'll show everybody a picture. Not the video game, Ryan. I know you probably play the video game, but a real Medal of Honor. It's pretty cool. My grandpa's brother, who passed away in World War II, got a Purple Heart, and he had that on display in the house forever. You couldn't walk into Grandma and Grandpa's house without seeing the Purple Heart. I know that's not the same thing as a Medal of Honor. Or is that a... There you go. There's a National Medal of Honor. Cody, go ahead. Throw him over here. I'll catch him. Coming in hot. Look at that. And if you find yourself wanting to just be the best parent or grandparent, you could pick your kid up a Chase Beanie Baby from Paw Patrol. I don't know what's going to be the popular show in a couple of years, but I feel like this one's hanging around for a while, this Paw Patrol, right? I don't know. We watch it a lot. You ever get to that point, and if you don't have kids, maybe it's your grandkids or nieces or nephews, but if they're watching TV for however long, hopefully it's little bits, it's a kid show, and then when your kids go to bed, I find myself I'm like, I don't even know what's on anymore. What do I watch, the news? Okay, I guess. Like, I don't even know. Like, I grab my remote, and I'm like, I don't even know what to put on. There's so much stuff available. Too much content, everybody. It's overwhelming. All right, a couple of things to mention before we wrap up. Today, Monday, we are starting a brand new flyer and some deals in the meat department here at your Muscatine Hy-Vee. It is our official kickoff to grilling, so we'll have some flyers ready to go. These prices good all throughout the course of the week. You walk in, grab a flyer, and you are all set. Thanks to our friends at Sycamore Printing. I love using Sycamore. They're great. And you grab a flyer and you save from things like Angus Reserve Chuck Roast, boneless baby back ribs, Cook's Ham, Hickory Country Bacon, brats and brat patties, boneless pork ribeye chops, boneless America's Cut or boneless butterfly chops. I know people, of course, that have grilled all winter, and that's fine. But if you are just feeling like you want to fire up the grill, this is a good reason to do so. And if you're thinking to yourself, am I going to grill bacon? I don't know, have you ever taken bacon and wrapped around asparagus? If you haven't, it'll change your life. Or have you ever wrapped bacon around a steak? You should also consider doing that. It's a great idea. Bacon on everything. Everything's better with bacon. Put a little bacon on Chase. I don't know. You trying to tell me that the Paw Patrol dog doesn't like bacon? You ever seen a dog that doesn't like bacon? Not that you should feed your dog bacon. I'm sure that you probably shouldn't. But that smell of bacon, maybe that's that's the secret to selling my house quickly. You know, some people would tell you should have your house with like, essential oils in a diffuser or a scented candle. I think my house should smell like bacon. And then a potential buyer would come in and go, I like this. And guess what? There's bacon on a plate ready for you and an ice cold bush latte. Y'all think I'm kidding about selling this house with some wacky... It's fine. You think what you want. But guess what? I saw Nate Davis had an open house, and he was going to give away a gas card to people that came to the open house. So if we've got to incentivize people to buy homes with giveaways, let's do it. There is a candle. Oh, there's no way that smells good. I'm here to tell you that there is no way that Yankee candle smells like real bacon. And if you're not baking your bacon in the oven, you're doing it wrong because you're avoiding the grease pops on your stovetop. A couple of years ago when I was on the radio still, I interviewed a company that had bacon-scented deodorant, and they sent me one of it, and it smelled horrendous. I opened it twice, and I regretted it instantly. That's exactly what I need to spray around the home. Between that and a little bit of the Del Martini cologne... Bacon cologne, everybody. Everything's better with bippity-boppity bacon, as Jim Gaffigan would say. All right, let's also talk about this Fuel Saver flyer that we've still got going on until tomorrow on Tuesday. It'll expire, and then we'll have a new one that starts on Wednesday each and every week, an opportunity for you to grab a flyer and save at the pump. Price of gas, I just heard this morning on the news because I was watching the news because I'm boring, apparently. The price of gas nationally is like $2.66 a gallon. So it doesn't have to be when you shop at Hy-Vee. And as God is my witness, I have to get gas. So I'll use my Fuel Saver, and I'm excited to be able to do that. Get that Fuel Saver, and don't pay full price at the pump. I'm telling you, you don't have to. I think I don't even know what I have. Maybe like 40 or 50 cents. It'll add up really quickly, that's for sure. And then this Friday and Saturday, if you love pulled pork sandwiches, and who doesn't, right? I know that y'all do. Pulled pork sandwiches for $1.99. I didn't even have to ask last Friday when we had the prop sandwich that Kim Beckman and Ashley brought on the show. I said, does anybody want this? And Ryan was just kind of like, Like, why would you even have to ask? So this is our ad from the back page of the Voice of Muscatine newspaper this week. Pulled Pork-a-Palooza, everybody. 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Friday, Saturday. Get yourself 1, 2, 3, 4. Betsy said she's going to have 7 pulled pork sandwiches for $1.99. Add a favorite side dish for $1, and you can't beat it. So if we leave that on the screen for a second, let's do the math. Say you got just one sandwich, good size sandwich, $1.99. Then you throw in that Muscatine famous homemade mac and cheese. Now you're at $2.99. And then you're thinking, well, I should maybe get some vegetables, throw in a vegetable, all of a sudden $3.99 for lunch or dinner. You really can't beat it. I'll tell you this, even if I have been on a low-carb diet, which I'm still sticking to, I will absolutely have at least one or two. And you don't have to get the bun, right? You could just get a mountain of pulled pork. Here's my pulled pork plate and my vegetables. That's fine. I'll probably do 2 sandwiches, one with a bun and then one without, because those Bakery Fresh buns are da bomb. I'm just looking at some Facebook comments, and everybody talking about Frank Iliff. I don't even need to do the show. Why doesn't Frank just take over? Frank could do it. People like Frank. Hy-Vee Today with Frank Iliff. He could do it. All right, 2 more things I'll mention, and then we'll get to the team staffing job board. Gary Dolphin will be back calling Iowa Hawkeye football this fall. I guess even though football will start in August, Gary Dolphin with the Hawkeyes, which is great. He's done Hawkeye football and basketball for over 20 years, and Gary Dolphin will be right here at your Muscatine Hy-Vee. Breakfast with Gary Dolphin coming up on Saturday, April 13th from 8 till 10 a.m. I would RSVP now. I expect a full house, 563-264-2420. Breakfast with Gary Dolphin, meet and greet, grab your picture, a little bit of a Q&A moderated by Brian Musell. Brian Musell, who does play-by-play commentary for Muskie football and basketball. He and Gary have known each other for years. They're both Dubuque guys, so that'll be a lot of fun. Breakfast with Gary Dolphin, go Hawks, and looking forward to a capacity crowd for that. The last thing that I'll mention before we get to the job board, holy moly, MCSA Domestic Violence Shelter New Beginnings fundraiser, Saturday, April 6th, coming up really fast. I can't believe it. I mean, we are getting down to the wire. Got a board meeting today at noon, and just at this point, I would tell you to go to mcsaiowa.org and try and buy tickets. I think we're probably getting closer and closer to being sold out, which is a big deal. Details on the screen there, 5:30 to 9:30, April 6th, Geneva Golf and Country Club. I hope to, in between now and then, talk to Brian Lee, who is the boss at Geneva, because I appreciate the fact that Geneva will host an event like this amongst everything else that they do. 17th annual event. This fundraiser, you talk about the power of one night. This night accounts for 1/3 of the operating budget for the shelter. Keep in mind, the MCSA Domestic Violence Shelter receives this much money from the state. So they rely on individual donations, corporate donations, and the New Beginnings fundraiser. It is a big deal. I don't want to think of a Muscatine without... Of course, I wish that domestic violence wasn't something that happens in Muscatine, right? I wish that it didn't happen. But the reality is that when it happens, and women and their children are fleeing a violent situation and they have nowhere else to go, the shelter is there for them to take care of them. And when they arrive at the shelter, oftentimes it is just with the clothes on their back, and that's it, because again, they're fleeing a tough situation. So this night is important, and I hope that you'll consider being there. If you can't make it on April 6th, you can still buy an Isabel Bloom. You can donate. If you ever want to donate, clothing or toiletry items, bring them to MCSA. Just make a note that it's for the domestic violence shelter. Because the shelter is in a secure location, you take a donation to MCSA on Iowa Avenue, then they'll get it to where it needs to be at the shelter. So please get your tickets and don't miss out on that. All right, let's go to our friends Team Staffing, 109 Lake Park Boulevard here in the Pearl City, and the job board, since it is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we'll tell you who's got a job for you or someone you know, whether it's full-time or a part-time or a second shift or a second job. Katie has an opportunity with TSI, $18.75 an hour, 12-hour shifts. Call Katie, 563-316-9254. I'm assuming you could start that immediately. $18.75 an hour, that could be yours or someone you know. Up next on the job board is Jenny. Several opportunities, mold technicians, print technicians, maintenance mechanics. Call Jenny, 563-316-7635, or careers at teamssi.com. And last but not least, Jenny also has an opportunity for maintenance. First shift, $20 to $26 per hour, 563-316-7635, careers at teamssi.com. I'm being told in my ear that we should go to the CBI Bank and Trust aisle cam because Jeff the Goat and Jeffina the Lamb have added a few members to their family. I don't understand. If you follow, look at that. Are we able to pull the graphic off the screen for a second, Chad, so we can see the brooding family? Oh, my goodness. Jeff the goat, Jeffina the lamb have, their flock has grown, all right? Their flock has grown by 3. They've got little baby Herman. And have we not named the babies yet? I have to name them, really? We have Herman is one of them. What's the other one? Jorino, okay. And Tim, okay. So there's Herman, Jorino, and Tim. All right. Hey, listen, we're not going to try and judge them for naming their babies how they wanted to name them. So that was love that happened in the store. You know, we had a couple get married in aisle 2, and Jeff the goat and Jeffina the lamb found each other last week, and in that short period of time, they were busy apparently, and they've got 3 babies now. All right, you're not going to find that anywhere else. I promise you. I promise you this is not happening anywhere else. There's so much thought that's going into Jeffina and Jeff the goat. Boy, maybe almost too much, some would say. Some, not me. Some would say that. I wouldn't. All right, we've got 4 more shows this week, and we're looking forward to it. The Garden Center here at Hy-Vee opening very soon. I said that I was the first customer on Friday, which is true. If you find yourself needing mulch or dirt, we'll gladly sell it to you, even though we're not officially open. It's in the parking lot. Come into the store or call us. I think I bought like 10 bags of mulch and drove in and drove out. I paid in the store and then went out to the lot. Brent got me in and got me out. It was a good deal. So keep that in mind if you're sprucing up your home for whatever reason. It just feels good to be outside and to get all that done. All right, thank you again to Frank Iliff with Rebuilding Together, Muscatine County. Frank the Tank, if you'll have it. Rebuilding Together, April 27th. Be at Rebuilding Together's office, their headquarters, 1424B Hauser Street. Call them ahead of time so that they know you're going to be there. They'll give you a T-shirt, they'll feed you, and you'll feel good helping your neighbors that could use a hand. That is for sure. Thank you for watching Hy-Vee Today with yours truly. You can email me. It's on the screen, hyveetoday@gmail.com. You can call Hy-Vee and talk to me. Guest suggestions, we'd love to have them. And congratulations, by the way, to everybody with Hy-Vee Muscatine's death of a hot sauce salesman. By all accounts, they had a successful weekend with shows Friday and Saturday, and I believe Muscatine Speech and Debate also had a successful trivia night fundraiser. Speaking of that, Grey's Anatomy trivia tonight. If you're watching us live, that starts at 6 p.m. If you're watching us on cable and it started at 10:30, trivia night is over, and I should be asleep by now because we do this show in the morning, and if I'm still awake at 11 o'clock at night, it's because my baby is wide awake. So thoughts and prayers, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on Tuesday right here on Hy-Vee Today. Goodbye, friends.
Watching Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone.
Be very, very quiet. We're hunting rabbits.
We'll do it again tomorrow with more local guests from in and around the Muscatine community.
I'm trying to emote for the play that the alumni are putting on in Wilton.
Yeah, man.
This Friday, Saturday.
Questions, comments, know a great guest? Reach out to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone on Facebook or via email, hyveetoday@gmail.com.